What a time to have Shadow Machamp, right? I'm expecting a shield here because Payback obviously is going to do a lot of damage to this Lugia. This opponent decides not to shield, so I decide, you know what? I'm not going for the bait again. I'm going straight for the Payback here. This Lugia is going to eat this right now. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Ox here with another video. If you're new to the channel, we do upload Pokemon Go content mostly related to PvP, so please consider subscribing to the channel if that is of interest to you. And if you're a returning subscriber like Mark Woods, thank you for the support. In today's video, we're taking a look at the Open Ultra League. No double ice today. We are spicing it up a little bit with Payback Shadow Machamp. And so when building this team, it was kind of difficult to come up with something that would work well with Shadow Machamp. I figured that I need something that I'm very comfortable with, and that was either going to be Articuno or Giratina. So we're going to be taking a look at two sets of battles in this video, and the first battle of the 10 actually I left out of this video because it was with a slightly different team. I was running Articuno, Giratina, and Machamp, but I found that that team was way too weak, 2 Charmers in the back, and that was what I ran into in the first battle. So I decided instead to think of a different team comp, decided to stick with Articuno in the lead spot, and then I was going to put Shadow Machamp, but I needed something else to pair with it, and I needed this Pokemon to meet some specific criteria. So 1, I needed it to operate very well as a safe switch. 2, I needed it to beat Cresselia. 3, I needed it to have play against Charmers. So what did I come up with? Snorlax. These are some highly entertaining battles with some crazy wins, some insane payback shots, and a huge win streak to boot. So if you guys enjoy this type of content, please make sure you smash that like button. It really helps the channel grow. Without any further ado, let's jump into the first battle right now. Alright, so first battle here up against Ryuta 627. I know a lot of times in the comments, one of the main questions is this team worth using? This particular team, I think I would recommend it. It's actually really good. Snorlax is super underrated in the Open Ultra League. It's actually a beast. In this first matchup here, we see Articuno into an Umbreon XL. So remember, this is a matchup that Articuno wins in all even shields. So you don't want to be the first to use a shield. Only shield up if the opponent uses one of their own. You want to match shields, and that's about it. So foul play comes through. You can see it's not really doing much damage. And he does sneak in an extra snarl there, which isn't good. So I'm going to get off this Icy Wind. At this point, I think we're in the range now where we could consider farming down from here on, because he's not going to be able to get to enough foul plays, I don't think. We should be able to farm down before we get to the next one, and we are able to do that. So we got Icy Wind ready for whatever comes in here. Should actually get to 2, and it's a Cresselia. So once Cresselia comes out, I know that I can't align this with Machamp, obviously, so I'm going to have to bring in the Snorlax. Debuffing this is great, but it's most likely going to lead to the Cresselia exiting the matchup once the Snorlax enters. We're going to see what their third Pokemon is. It's a Clefable. Now this presents an issue for me because I can't bring in Machamp, of course. So the Machamp is kind of looking useless in this situation. So I'm forced to stay in here with Snorlax, and I have to start burning shields. It's really good that the opponent actually isn't using any of their own shields at this point, because I cannot handle this Clefable. At least the Cresselia, there's somewhat play, I guess, with Payback and whatnot, but I need to start pressuring shields here. And at this point I realized I could actually farm down before it gets the next move once I shield the Meteor Mash. So Cresselia comes back in, gonna go for the Body Slam here. I'm in a really tough spot, and I realized because this Cresselia actually has 2 shields and let that Body Slam go through, my only play here is to actually commit to a counter farm down on this Cresselia. And my win condition here is actually to call the Grass Knot bait. That's the only way I could win this match. So I'm gonna let it go through. It's a Grass Knot. Now if I could shield the next one, there's a chance that I could farm down here with counter. So they're not going to be able to get to another move after this. Can I farm down before they get to a third Grass Knot? Machamp is a Cresselia counter confirmed. Absolutely insane right there. Abeemooo here in the next matchup. Cannot believe I farmed down a Cresselia with Machamp. That's insane. And here we go, Articuno to Melmetal, the lead that we hate to see with Articuno. But look at this, I switched out because I have a different team this time. And if you look at this team, actually, it's pretty interesting because looking at it, it actually counters double ice. You got Snorlax for the Giratina, you got Machamp for the Lapras, so it's not the worst situation. You can see here the opponent actually brings out the Togekiss. And I did waste the shield on that superpower, which was great for me because now I have a chance to take back switch here. And I think the opponent realized at this point that they want to maintain switch. So they're starting to burn their shields, realizing what it is that I want to do, which is take back switch. Unfortunately for them, because of that slight energy gain I got on the Melmetal, I am going to be able to actually take switch here if I could get to this next body slam, and I am able to get it just before getting knocked out by charm damage. So we are going to take switch advantage here, which is absolutely huge because I have a Shadow Machamp for this Melmetal. So Melmetal comes in, probably going to hit by a superpower here. It's not going to KO, and then they're likely going to switch out. Let's see what they have in the back. It is a Cresselia. So this isn't the best matchup, obviously, because Articuno does lose in the zero shields. So still a pretty tricky spot, and we may need that Machamp hard counter for Cresselia to come back out and do some magic. But let's see how this plays out from here. So you can see I am debuffing with Icy Wind, and we're going to get hit by a move here. Most likely going to be Moonblast. It is Moonblast. So that's actually better for us that they don't have Future Sight. I'm going to go for the Icy Wind again. Now at this point, I am anticipating a potential switch maybe, but I'm not sure if that's the right play on the opponent's part. And they do switch out. I bring in the Machamp, thankfully able to get this cross shot before they get to a move. Will this be enough to KO? It's not. I was really worried at this point, but they didn't get to a move. Able to farm down there. Cresselia comes in. It's going to have to throw energy here, which is huge for us because now we have a chance with the Articuno because we left with energy stored. So I'm going to throw this Icy Wind here, and now it's going to come down to whether or not I could farm down before it gets to another move, and we're able to just get there in time. We take that game against a Melmetal lead into Articuno, so very impressed with this team so far. Centurion 0001 here in match number 3. We've got another XL Umbreon. There have been quite a few of these, which is pretty surprising, and again, pretty good matchup for Articuno here. Let's see how it plays out. So the foul play is going to come through. And again, like I said, you're not going to shield anything in this particular matchup, just match shields when necessary. And the main issue with this matchup actually that you might notice is the sneaking in of fast moves. If you're able to sneak one in, then it's a huge benefit for you. If the opponent sneaks one in and denies yours, then it could be a bit troublesome because this is a pretty close match. Despite being favorable for Articuno, it's not like a blowout win, it's pretty close. So you can see they snuck in the extra snarl there. Not good. I go for the Icy Wind. And at this point, I know that the next Icy Wind obviously will KO, but I got a little bit greedy here and I was wondering, can I actually farm down before they get to another foul play? There's your answer, no, because they sneaked in that extra move actually. So I end up losing the zero shields, which is a huge problem for me because now I have to give up switch. They bring an Obstagoon, I bring him a Machamp. We see Lugia come in here. This is not good at all. So I build up for the payback, obviously trying to bait it. And I'm probably going to go for the cross chop here, so I shield up the Sky Attack. And now I'm going to go for the cross chop, and I'm expecting a shield here because Payback obviously is going to do a lot of damage to this Lugia. This opponent decides not to shield, so I decide, you know what, I'm not going for the bait again. I'm going straight for the Payback here. This Lugia is going to eat this right now. Boom! There it is. One shot the Lugia. That opponent is an absolute madman, not shielding the Machamp. Maybe they miscommunicated, did not know that Machamp has Payback or something. But now it comes in, gonna destroy this Obstagoon. Machamp is putting in the work here. These are some crazy battles. GSnakeStyle here in the next matchup. And we're gonna be leading Articuno into a Giratina altered form. So finally, an amazing lead for us. And look at this, they switch out into Articuno. So what does that tell me? This person is likely running double ice. The old variant with the Giratina lead and the Lapras Articuno in the back. So I had a pretty big smile on my face at this point. Trying to catch here what I expect to be an Ancient Power onto Snorlax. There it is, Ancient Power. And shout out to this guy for running this team. I mean, it's not confirmed yet, but this has all signs pointing towards double ice. So Icy Wind comes through. It's going to debuff, but at this point, because I got that extra damage off already on the Articuno, I'm going to be able to maintain switch here no matter what. And I should be able to farm down from this point. Actually able to do it before they get to another Icy Wind, which is really big. And Giratina comes back in. So at this point, obviously, I don't have any move here that will do significant damage to Giratina. Body Slam and Superpower both being resisted by Giratina. So not really much of an option, but the licks really do add up even with the debuff. And of course, the Giratina is going to have to throw energy at some point because these Shadow Claws aren't doing anything to Snorlax. But it's going to farm up a lot for sure as well. And you can see a lag here. Apparently I lose CMP tie because of the lag, but it doesn't really matter. Body Slam won't really do much. So now I bring in the Articuno, and this Giratina is going to unload a lot of energy here. and they switch on to Lapras. So there it is, double ice as expected. And it's kind of crazy that I'm facing the double ice team and I have like the perfect hard counter team for it. But you know, it is what it is. Just shield up here with Machamp. This is a pretty straightforward win with 2 shields on the Machamp. Obviously, if the Lapras had a shield advantage, it should be a different story. But gonna go for the cross chop here. And the Lapras is going to choose to let that go through. Coming with the Giratina. And at this point, there's really no threat anymore. I could just stay in with the Machamp, get farmed down, and come in with the Articuno, take this game. Now, I think there was a possibility there maybe for them to win if they managed to stall the timer with 2 shields on Lapras, switch onto the Giratina to catch the move. Maybe there was some play there, but that was a very difficult line to come back from on the opponent's end anyways. And we're going to come in with Articuno farm down. But shout out to that guy for running that team, because that is an OG double ice line right there. Fuwa here in the next matchup. We got Articuno into Escavalier. So for this particular matchup, it is favorable for Articuno. However, usually the opponent is going to throw Mega Horn after the Icy win, but this particular opponent did something interesting. They actually farmed past the Mega Horn, it seemed like. So this was telling me they're probably going for Acid Spray, and I chose not to shield. And look at that, it's actually an Acid Spray. And the thing about Acid Spray is that a lot of people who run Acid Spray are pairing it with Drill Run, so this opponent probably doesn't have Mega Horn. As a result, I decided not to shield this because Drill Run would not KO at this point, and it's another Acid Spray. And now the problem is that Drill Run will KO, and I wasn't sure if I could farm down before the next Drill Run, so I just wanted to be safe and take the win in the 0 shields with Articuno, which is pretty damn huge. See Obstagoon come in, and usually this is a big problem if I have Lapras Giratina, but then I remembered I'm not running that team. I'm running Shadow Machamp. So here comes Togekiss, gonna bring in Snorlax here now. This is a bit of an issue now because like we saw in the first matchup, Snorlax had a favorable match against Togekiss because I got an energy lead. In this situation, I'm actually slightly behind on energy, but there's also 2 shields on each side. So the Togekiss knows it could basically win this match and save health for the Machamp. So I'm trying to get off as much damage as I can here. I get off this body slam, which is really huge. And now it's in the range where I could come with Machamp and actually farm down. I'm going to take a lot of damage, but if I could at least get rid of this Togekiss, I know I could take Obstagoon because Obstagoon's going to get absolutely destroyed by Machamp. There it is. Togekiss counter confirmed. Shadow Machamp taking out a Togekiss with the cross chop. Obstagoon comes in. I have 2 shields. And this is farm down city right here. Actually, I'm not going to farm down. I'm just going to go for the cross chop and make this Obstagoon's life miserable. Taking it out there. Shadow Machamp. It is putting in some work in this video. I am telling you guys right now. elricjoshua here in the next matchup. And we got Articuno lead into Giratina Origin. So Giratina Origin's a bit more difficult than Altered, but obviously still a very good lead. And we see Mewtwo come in. Now, this particular matchup here, I'm going to go for the debuff and then switch on to Snorlax. If this Mewtwo is actually running Side Strike Dynamic Punch, then this is a good matchup for Articuno. If it's running Rock Slide, it's bad. That's why I switched on to Snorlax. Even if it's running Dynamic Punch, still a good matchup for Snorlax, especially after landing the Icy Wind debuff. So I think it's better to be safe here than sorry and just switch on to Snorlax. Even though you want to get Snorlax on Giratina, Articuno is good enough to handle that. So the Mewtwo is going to throw a move here. At this point, I'm going to shield. Probably expecting a Side Strike, lower energy it is. Doesn't matter. Going to throw the Body Slam here. And at this point, the Mewtwo should let this go, but they decide to shield. And unfortunately for them, that's going to allow me to farm down before they get to another move. So they're now down 2 shields, and I have a 1 shield advantage. Giratina Origin comes into Snorlax, which makes me wonder what they have in the back here. And I go for the Body Slam. I don't have another move. You can make the argument to switch out Superpower for something like Outrage, Heavy Slam, Earthquake. But the reason that I have Superpower is for the Melmetal safe switch. So Giratina going to throw the move here. Ominous Wind fishing for that bait, and they get the boost. This is the last thing I wanted to see here, because now my Articuno is going to be in a pretty tricky spot. So them not throwing Dragon Pulse 2 makes it obvious that they have Shadow Ball, Ominous Wind, of course. So I bring an Articuno, and honestly here, I'm calling the bait. I don't think they're going for the Shadow Ball because they're boosted. Call the bait, that is pretty huge. And at this point, I don't think they have enough for Shadow Ball, so it's probably going to be another Ominous Wind. I'm going to let this go through again. And they bring in their last Pokemon, a Melmetal. You love to see it. Shadow Machamp, scaring away the competition. I'm telling you guys, Shadow Machamp is actually pretty damn good here with Payback in the Open Ultra League. Nacho 66 here in the next matchup. We got Articuno into Charizard. This is not a good matchup. However, this is why I run Ancient Power. And a lot of times they don't expect this, right? They're expecting Ice to win. Boom. There it is. Ancient Power lands. At this point, all you have to do is shield this no matter what it is and farm down with Ice Shard. So they go for the Blast Burn and they switch out instead. Prevents the farm down. I'm going to throw the Icy one here at the Cresselia and then I'm going to bring in the Snorlax. Now Snorlax is a very good matchup for Cresselia, but with the debuff, it's an even better matchup. So not really worried about anything here. I think the biggest threat's probably Future Sight. They go for the Moonblast. No attack drops, so that's very good. And I'm just going to spam Body Slams here from this point on. And the Cresselia here, not really much of a threat. I could probably start considering farming down, but when they throw Future Sight, I realize I'm probably going to have to throw on a Body Slam. So I am going to throw the Body Slam here. Let's see if the shield comes up. It does, which I found a little bit surprising. But I don't think I have to shield this. I'm going to let this go through. And I should be able to commit to the Lick Down. But it got really close here. I decided, you know what? I don't want to risk it. I'm not taking any risks in this game, as you could see. So I just go for the Body Slam. And they bring in Regirock. So again, what a time to have Shadow Machamp, right? It's just lined up so perfectly against these backlines here. I really like this team comp. And I am on quite the win streak here actually in these two sets. Gonna go for the Cross Chop here and the Regirock. Gonna shield up. At this point they're probably gonna try to sack onto the Charizard. Thing is, I need to get rid of this Charizard anyway, so gonna hit all the bubbles here. Just get rid of this. And once the Regirock comes in, gonna switch out instantly into my Articuno. Force them to throw energy because Icy Wind actually will KO from this range. So they have to dump their energy here. And they're basically 1 or 2 counters away from getting knocked out. And Shadow Machamp is not here to play any games today, taking out the opposition in full force. EastsidePastor here in the next matchup. Going to be seeing Articuno into Articuno, so quite a few Articunos out here today. And we are going to do pretty decently in the mirror match because we are running Ancient Power. And most of the time I find that opposing Articunos are not. So we get hit by the Ice Wind because I lose CMP tie. I have a very good Articuno for PvP, so I'm always going to lose CMP. Ancient Power comes through. You can see we get the opponent into the yellow first as a result. Now, at this point, I decide to go for the Icy Wind, which is really only the correct play if you expect them to shield. And for some reason, I was expecting the shield. It's totally a guessing game, right? That is Go Battle League PvP, but they did not shield, so that's not good. Because now I can't actually farm down. But look at this, I actually win CMP or they didn't click the move. So they let this go through, which is huge because I maintain switch. We see Mew come out and now I could align that onto my Snorlax, which is absolutely huge. You can see how important winning the mirror match there with Articuno really is. And the thing about Mew is you never really know what moveset it has in Ultra League. It's staying in, which makes me think maybe it might have Focus Blast, but they switch out into Machamp. So I'm going to bring in my own Machamp. Battle of the Machamps here. Shadow versus the non-Shadow. Which one is going to win? Looks like I'm winning the CMP here. So Cross Chop comes through. And they are over farming. I guess they're trying to sneak in an extra move, but I am preventing that right now. And Cross Chop comes through. I'm going to get to the Cross Chop as well. This will likely get the shield from them. And it does. And looks like it might have been CMP tie. So from this point on, it's going to come down to countering down. Who is going to win? Looks like we're ahead slightly. We are able to farm down. And I can't get off that Cross Chop, but not a big deal. Snorlax comes back in. Honestly, I'm not even sure if a Focus Blast would KO from a Mew onto Snorlax. Probably does not, to be honest. So I'm feeling pretty comfortable here. It's only a Wild Charge. Lower their defense. Body Slam is going to be enough to knock out the Mew. We are going to take this game. And I believe at this point I was actually on an 8-0 run. So next match is Loscarcarvalho. And we are going to be seeing Articuno into XL Galvantula. And I was a little bit caught off guard here. And instantly I'm assuming this is a Premier Cup team. They went into the wrong league. And you could see how unfortunate that is sometimes, because a lot of times the teams that I lose to in Open Ultra are actually the ones I don't prepare for, which is the Premier Cup teams. Now we did get debuffed here by Lunge, so I'm just going to go straight for the Superpower. Not really expecting a shield here, but I'm not going to be able to win Switch here no matter what. So I'm going to throw back-to-back Superpowers, and at this point, my defense is going to be so low that Body Slam will be enough to KO. Now maybe you could make the argument that I could shield here, but the reason I didn't is because even if I do win switch, there's no positive matchup for me against Galvantula, right? Machamp isn't really positive, Articuno isn't positive, and if I do bring a Machamp against it, I need the shields. So I bring an Articuno to soak this damage from the Snorlax, and once the Galvantula comes back in, I'm going to look to switch out into the Machamp and hope that I can take this game. So the superpower comes through here, and I'm able to farm down. And now let's see what they're going to bring in. They actually choose not to come back in with the Galvantula, but come with Lapras. I really don't like that I threw here. This is a mistake, because as soon as I bring them a Machamp, they're going to reset this debuff anyways. So I should save that energy for sure. But we do get a slight energy lead here on the Machamp. Going to go for the cross chop here. The most important thing here is to make sure that the opponent does not sneak in any extra volt switches. So I get an extra counter there, which is big. This is going to be a really tight game. I need to either lead this match with the shield or with energy on the Machamp, but I have to throw the energy right away. We're doing a good job preventing the extra volt switches from coming in right now, so I think there's a play here. There's an opportunity. We get the final shield, and look at this. I beat them to the final move. Will this cross chop be enough to win this battle? They just barely survive, and they get there at the nick of time, forced to burn the last shield. And unfortunately for me, I don't think I could have farmed up there to a cross chop, but that was pretty much my only win condition, because now they're going to farm me down. So I should have just tried for it anyways. I had to try for the cross chop there. With the debuff though, I'm not sure if I would have got, if it would have been enough. But you can see I got the ancient power boost there. Imagine I saved the other icy one that I threw. Back-to-back ancient powers might have been enough to KO there after the boost. So I think we could have maybe won that game, but it was very difficult towards the end. Obviously a very difficult team comp, and not something you expect in the Open Ultra League. But overall, I did end up going 8-1 with this team, not including the first match where I used the wrong team. But overall, very solid team, very happy with the performance, and we're back into the 3100s. If you guys enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like, commenting, subscribing to the channel. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.